I turned 25 on a Tuesday. No party. No cake. Just a knock on my guest house door around 7 in the morning. It was my dad, Martin Reed. He had his sleeves rolled up like he was about to do chores, but his eyes looked serious, like something big was about to happen. "Come to the kitchen," he said. "We need to talk." I followed him through the back gate and into the main house. I hadn't been inside for over a week, not since my brother moved back in. The kitchen smelled like toast and coffee. My mom was already at the table, dressed, drinking from her mug like it was just a normal day. Like it wasn't my birthday, there were no balloons, no card, but by the door was a suitcase. My suitcase. The brown one with my initials, JR, on the side. I hadn't used it since college. I looked at it, then at them. My mom didn't smile. "You're 25 now, Juliana," she said. "It's time." I stood there, waiting. For what? I don't know. Maybe for them to explain. Maybe for someone to say sorry. My dad cleared his throat. "We've decided. It's time for you to move out." "Today?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. He nodded. "Austin needs the guest house for his business." I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I just stood still. My mom walked over to the suitcase and zipped it up all the way. "Your essentials are packed," she said. "We thought that would save you time." I felt my throat tighten, but I said nothing. They didn't ask where I'd go. They didn't offer a list of places or even call a cab. They just opened the door. I stepped outside with my suitcase in hand. The door clicked shut behind me. That was it. That was my birthday. I didn't cry when I reached the end of the street. I didn't. Stop walking. Just kept moving. Like my body already knew what my heart hadn't caught up to yet. They had planned this. The suitcase was too perfectly packed. Too neat. But the truth is, this didn't start today. It started a long time ago. Maybe the day Austin was born. He was 3 years younger than me. Blonde hair, big smile, always full of energy. People clapped for him even when he didn't do anything special. "Look at him go," they'd say. "He's such a leader." By 10, he was playing travel soccer and was on a school leadership team. My mom never missed a game. When I was 14, I painted a mural in the school library. It took me 2 weeks after school every day. No one from my family came to see it. They said they were too busy that week. Austin went to a fancy college in New York. It cost more each semester than all 4 of my years at Greenville Tech. My parents paid every penny. I stayed close to home. Got scholarships, waited tables at night, built websites just to afford books. When I graduated, they let me rent the guest house for a modest price. I didn't ask for anything else. 2 years later, Austin moved back. No job, just an idea. My dad gave him startup money. My mom cleaned out the garage so he could have space to think. They even threw him a party. Catering, music, banners. I helped design his pitch deck. Didn't charge him. He didn't even say thank you. They told everyone, "Austin's going to change the world." No one ever asked what I was working on. I wasn't bitter. Not exactly. I just felt invisible. It's a weird kind of quiet that grows inside when you're always the extra in your own life. When your wins don't matter. When your presence is just there. I stopped trying to impress them around the time Austin got a new car, and I was still riding my bike to gigs. Once I heard my dad on the phone, "Austin's the one we're building toward. Jules is stable. Stable. Like a bookshelf. Or a weather app?" I used to think maybe that was good. That being reliable would mean they needed me. But in the end, they didn't even say thank you. Just packed my things and gave my space to the one who already took so much. The worst part wasn't being kicked out. It was knowing they never believed I was going anywhere important. And for a long time, I believed them too. The motel smelled like lemon cleaner and something else. Something old. I slid in the key card. The door stuck a little before it opened with a wheeze. Room 107. no view. Just a small bed, a lamp, and a wall that hummed from the vending machine outside. It didn't matter. I wasn't staying long. I couldn't afford to. I dropped my suitcase on the floor and sat on the edge of the bed, still holding the handle like I wasn't sure I could let go yet. They really packed everything. Toothbrush, charger, socks, all folded neatly. Like they wanted it to look thoughtful. I unzipped the suitcase and searched through the layers. Then, in the front flap, I found something tucked deep inside. An envelope. No stamp, no address. Just my name, Juliana. Written in my grandfather's handwriting. Clean, sharp. The kind of writing that took its time. Grandpa Henry, my dad's dad. He died when I was 15. He used to let me sit beside him at his drafting desk. He showed me how to hold a T-square. He once told me buildings weren't made of steel. They were made of clarity. He said, "This," and tapped a clean pencil line. "This is what it means not to waste time." I forgot he gave me something at the funeral. A sealed envelope. "Not until you're 25, he said. I hadn't opened it. I tucked it into my suitcase for safekeeping, thinking someday was far away. But I guess someday was today. I sat still for a long time with the envelope in my lap, one finger on the flap. Part of me didn't want to open it. Not here. Not in a place that smelled like bleach and sadness. But another part, the part that had just been pushed out, needed to know if anyone had ever really seen me. I opened it. Inside were 3 things. The first was a letter, 2 pages, typed, signed with a pen. "Dear Juliana," it began, "if you're reading this, you've turned 25. That means what we agreed on is now yours to claim." My grandpa wrote like he spoke. Straight to the point. He talked about the family business, Reed and Timberland. How he started it from 1 sawmill and 1 truck. How he watched my dad grow it. Bigger, but not better. "Martin has ambition," he wrote, "but not always vision. You, Juliana, have vision." He said he saw it in me early. How I noticed things in buildings. How I used colors and space like words. "You're not loud. You're precise," he wrote. "That kind of mind is often forgotten, but not by me." The second thing was a legal paper. I knew the letterhead. It was from the law firm our family used. It was a transfer of ownership. Fin%. 15% of Reed and Timberland Corp. Effective on my 25th birthday. They can delay, Grandpa wrote. They can ignore, but the ownership is yours. And if you want it, your voice at the table counts too. I read it again. 15%. I didn't know how much that meant. Not in money, not in power. But it was more than I'd ever been given. It wasn't just permission. It was proof that I belonged. The last thing in the envelope was a name and phone number. Ellen Whitaker, estate lawyer at Harper and Lindell. Under it was one final line, in his handwriting. "If they never told you, call her." That line hit the hardest. He knew. He knew they might hide it. And they did. For 10 years. 10 years I spent working late nights, chasing invoices, fixing small business logos. And they never said a word. I looked up at the motel ceiling. The hum of the vending machine felt louder now. I looked down at the number. I didn't feel angry. Not yet. But something inside me shifted. Cold, sharp, and steady. They thought they'd erased me. They forgot what day it really was. The next morning, I got dressed in the same clothes I wore the day before. Plain jeans, a dark blazer, flats that had seen better years. I packed the documents into a plastic folder I bought from the gas station across the street. It was thin and flimsy, but it did the job. Then I made the call. Ellen Whitaker. Estate. Counsel. Her assistant picked up on the 3rd ring. "Ms. Whitaker is in a meeting. May I take a message?" I gave my name. A pause, longer than it should have been. Juliana Reed? Yes. One moment, please. A click, then another. Ellen came on the line. Ms. Reed? She said, calm, professional, warmer than I expected. I've been waiting for this call. She gave me the address. Harper and Lindell, downtown, tucked between a cafe and a notary office. It didn't look like the kind of place where lives changed, but for me, it was. She met me in the lobby. Mid-50s, sharp, kind eyes. We didn't shake hands. She just nodded. Come with me. Her office was tidy, but not intimidating. A photo of her and a golden retriever on the shelf made me like her, instantly. I assume you brought what your grandfather left you? She asked. I handed over the envelope. She flipped through the pages quickly, her eyes scanning with practiced ease. These are the originals, she confirmed. Good. She typed something on her screen, then stopped. Juliana, she said, meeting my eyes. Your name's been on the books for 10 years, but your parents never responded to the verification notices. They never told me, I said. I know, she sighed, but you're here now, and that means we can finalize everything. Over the next 30 minutes, she walked me through what the 15% meant. Dividends, voting rights, access to records. It was real. All of it. I wasn't just someone they forgot to celebrate. I had a seat they couldn't take away. When we finished, she handed me a new folder. Real leather, the firm's gold logo pressed into the cover. As I stood, she said, one more thing. She handed me a card. If anyone questions your role, tell them to call me directly. I slipped it into my pocket and walked out. I didn't call my parents. I didn't send a message. I just kept walking. I didn't go back to the motel. 3 blocks down, I found a coffee shop with strong Wi-Fi and a quiet back corner. I opened my laptop and typed 2 words. Studio space. I didn't want much. Just light and a door that locked from the inside. By the end of the day, I'd found a small loft just outside the city. It used to be an art gallery. White walls, tall windows, a skylight that filled the mornings with soft sun. I signed the lease using money from my first dividend check. The second check went toward furnishing it. A desk, a sofa, a standing lamp shaped like a tree branch. It wasn't fancy, but it was mine. No rent to my parents, no name on someone else's deed. I moved in on a Thursday, alone. No boxes, just the same suitcase and the folder Ellen gave me. I unpacked slowly, hung 3 of my favorite prints. Then I sat at the desk and opened a new document. At the top, I typed, Jules Reed Studio, not Reed Design, not Juliana Creative. Just mine. In the weeks that followed, I rebuilt my portfolio, reached out to old clients, redesigned my invoice template. What used to feel like patchwork started to feel permanent. Then, one afternoon, I did something I'd never done before. I ordered a plaque. Nothing flashy, just a small brass rectangle, 4 inches wide. The engraving was simple, Jules Reed Studio. In quiet, I built. I screwed it into the wall beside the door, ran my thumb across it once, then stepped back. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't a declaration. It was a marker, a way to say, I was here. I mattered. Even when you didn't see it, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't post it. I just got to work. In time, the clients came. Small businesses, then. A healthcare group. Then a startup from Chicago that had once passed me over. Now they wanted a full rebrand. I charged double. They paid without hesitation. At night, I sat by the window with tea and silence. No voices through walls, no footsteps. Overhead, no reminders of what I wasn't, just light and space. And my name, etched in metal, where no one could erase it. The call came just after 9 p.m. I didn't recognize the number, but I answered. Old habit. Juliana. It was Austin. His voice was thin, not smug, Not loud, just uncertain. It's, me, I said flatly. A pause. I didn't know if you'd pick up. Another pause. He exhaled. I need help. I said nothing. He kept talking. The app crashed. Not just the code, everything. We lost our investors. The bank froze our account. His words tumbled out, panicked, breathless. Dad's freaking out. They used part of the family business as collateral, without the board. If this goes public, it'll be bad for everyone, he said. He meant them. He didn't ask where I'd gone. He didn't ask how I was. Just, I don't know who else to call, he said. Mom thought maybe you'd... He trailed off. I stood by my window, watching the streetlight pour across my floor like honey. For a moment, I almost forgot who I was talking to. Then I remembered. They didn't call when I turned 25. They didn't call when I walked away. They called now, because he failed and I hadn't. The next evening, the house line rang. The one they never used unless it was serious. I let it go to 6 rings, then picked up. Juliana, my mother said, quieter than usual, still trying to sound like authority wrapped in concern. I heard you spoke to Austin. I listened. We're going through something, but this affects all of us. All of us. They always said that like I never left, like they hadn't pushed me out with my name on a suitcase. The company's at risk. Your father is trying to contain the damage, but we need support. Legal, financial, someone the board will listen to. Then came the truth. We know about the shares, she said. We know what your grandfather left you. Finally, I thought. We were hoping, she continued, you'd step in, help preserve what he built. I waited, then asked, is this the same company you told me I'd never be part of? Juliana, don't make this harder than it is. I'm not, I said. I'm just remembering clearly. My father took the phone. We made mistakes, he said, his voice firm, practiced, the voice of a man used to being obeyed. But now's not the time for resentment. We're asking for help. I looked at the plaque. Jules Reed Studio. In quiet, I built. Masambas, not angry, I told him. Then you'll help? No, I said softly. I just remember what you said. A pause. What do you mean? I let the silence stretch, then said, you told me I wasn't family, and I believed you. Then I hung up. That evening, I walked into my studio. The air smelled like paper and pine. My favorite candle flickered by the window. I took a photo of the plaque by the door. Jules Reed Studio. In quiet, I built. In silence, I was seen. No message, no caption. I sent it to my father's number, the same one that once called to say, you're on your own. He never replied. I didn't need him to. Some doors don't need to be slammed shut. They close themselves, quietly.